Guys, if you want a serious shot at generational wealth kicking in starting the end of 2025, this stock could be the vehicle for you. It's AMD. Just give you the ticker right away. It had an awesome Q2 earnings. We'll talk about that, but let's look at the actual chart so we get an idea of what's going on here. So here's the chart setting up pretty awesome with this left side peak holding here. But for the actual earnings part, almost $8 billion in revenue, beat estimates by a pretty wide margin. Gaming segment grew 75%. CPUs grew 57%. Data center sales 57%. And they had a huge demand for AI chips because they're powering Microsoft Meta OpenAI. Raised their Q3 revenue forecast to $8 billion, well above analyst expectations. And they even had a $1.5 billion revenue hit from the export restrictions on China. Now, MI300 AI chip series is the one for AMD. They partners with Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services. Look, that's all well and great, but the point is this is one of the few stocks where, yes, the earnings reaction initially was down, but it actually jumped in sort of this next day and ramped up in a way where you have a really clear risk level. This is the 5-day moving average. Oh, this is the 20-day actually. And as these moving averages converge, this could be really attractive. So I'm giving you all the fundamentals, but that's why technically it's on the radar. And if we just looked at technicals, it wouldn't really be that interesting, would it? Even though you might make more money than getting lost in news. But here's another one, SYM, Symbotic, Warehouse Automation. They just released these earnings. Pretty cool. 32% higher revenue year over year, growing backlog exceeding $1 billion, and they just had a new storage system that improves space utilization. Whatever. CEO highlighted strong demand from retail and grocery chains, investing in automation to automate supply chains. Yeah, that sounds good. I was seeing this thing where McDonald's, you can run it with 5 people, or we used to run it with 50. Stock sold off a little on cautious Q3 guidance, but the contracts and the tech innovations are real despite this little reaction. And we have a weak earnings season right now anyway. So pullback could be an opportunity to enter along all of this sort of base building out. Again, this earnings season is pretty lackluster, right? Microsoft down, sold off. Roblox, you can see it over here, down, sold off. SoFi sold off. Netflix continued to sell off. Ultimately bottomed. TTD just happened yesterday. That sell-off was pretty gnarly. So look, with that sort of backdrop, SYM holding here is actually like pretty good, comparatively. Now, one more name heading into the weekend, which is sort of, if you're into crypto, weekends are your trading time. But if you're into stocks, you can just buy this, and you do take on, observe some risk, but you can still set a risk level that's reasonable if you have some cushion going into the end of the day today. So maybe you set, is this the 20-day? Yeah. Figured out the colors. Then you will be able to hold XRP over the weekend. So this is the XRP ETF, right? XRP is a big sort of social spotlight crypto. SEC dropped its lawsuit against Ripple Labs. So XRP is up. Biden, not Biden, Trump signed an executive order. So you can basically put Fartcoin in your retirement account, or Ripple, or XRP. So that's why this thing is moving up, and institutional investors are going to be excited about investing in a way that isn't directly buying crypto. So they buy this ETF. So that's good for us. Rare opportunity to get in on a regulated crypto name that isn't Ethereum, ETH or ETH, which by the way is sort of breaking out right now, and isn't Bitcoin. If ETH breaks out over the weekend, XRP is probably going to be holding as well, and might have more upside in the future because it's sort of a, more nascent name. How's that? So look, there's some uncovered gems. AMD. Who talks about AMD? They don't, right? They talk about NVIDIA. They talk about SMCI, which is not doing hot at all. Semis are all over the place, but sort of the unsung underdog hero is this AMD. So that's the chip one. SYM is another one that people aren't talking about that's actually holding on earnings, which is pretty awesome. And it's sort of boring, like warehouse automation is overlooked. They have solid year-over-year revenue. And look, I wouldn't get too stoked on crypto stocks, but if you are going to buy one, XRP is probably a safe ETF way to get some exposure. There you go. You guys are awesome. I will see you on Monday, and be safe over the weekend.